Good morning, boys and girls. Here we are again, and we're in the Advent season. So we're going to have another story today about Christmas. Now, let me take off this mask. Now, this story, since nobody's here except my son and I'm in my own home, then I can take my mask off. But when I go out to the post office and outside of my house to meet people that I don't live with, then I make sure my mask is on because I want to stay well and be able to read you all your stories each week. Now, the story we're going to read today is a question that some bears are going to answer. Now, sometimes, you know what a puppet is when you put the puppet on your hand and you talk. Well, sometimes we use puppets or stuffed animals or animals to answer questions and to tell people things. So what they're going to tell us, these bears, is true. But of course, bears can't talk to us. They talk in bear language. They don't talk our language. And the bears that we're going to look at today are called polar bears. And that means that they have to live where it's very, very cold. Now, we have two places. Mrs. Deitz has a globe, and the shape of our world is round. And when you look at a globe, you can see where things are. It's very, very small on the globe. And in real life, it's much, much bigger. For instance, we live right about here. So our seasons are, we have hot weather, we have not so hot, we have cold weather and snow, and then it starts to get warm again. So we have our seasons. We have summer, fall or autumn that we're just about finishing, winter, and spring, and we're back to summer again when it's hot. Well, that's the way we live here, but some people that live down in here, oh, it's hot all the time. And if people live up in here or down here, which are called the poles, it's very cold. Now, I'm going to tell you a little secret. Some people think that polar bears live where it's very cold, which they do. But because of that, they think they might live down here. This is called the South Pole. And they live up here in the North Pole. Polar bears don't live in the South Pole. They only live up in the North Pole, up in this area where it is cold and icy all the time. But sometimes up in this area, the sky does some beautiful things and has some beautiful lights. So the story we're going to read today is about a baby polar bear that asks his mother a question. Here's baby and mother. And do you know what the question was? It was, where does Christmas come from? So we're going to read and see what Mama Bear tells her baby bear. And the words are true. So I want you to listen very carefully, and then you will know who gave us Christmas. Now remember, Mrs. Deitz is going to read the story and then show you the pictures. Mama, Little Bear asked one night, who invented Christmas? Was it Santa? No, Mama Bear said, God invented Christmas. God gave us Christmas. Is God more important than Santa? Oh, yes, much more important, Mama said with a smile. Just like when you help your mama, Mama's cooking and baking cookies and the children are playing and Little Bear is helping Mama and asking questions and they're talking. The next morning, little Cub sleepily climbed into her lap. "Oh, can we go find Santa, Mama? He lives round here someplace, I think. Remember, Santa lives in the North Pole where these bears live." Santa is hard to find," said Mama, "but we can go find God. God is everywhere." See the little bears, the brothers and sisters looking out the window? And here's little Cub talking to Mama because he's starting to be a little bit older and he's having questions in his head that he wants someone to answer. So he's asking his mama these questions. "Yahoo!" cried little Cub. "I didn't know we could find God." "Oh, yes," Mama said, "we can always find God." Little Cub looked over her shoulder and whispered, "Can we leave them at home?" He wants to leave his brothers and sisters at home. "Yes, Papa will watch the little ones. You and I can go alone." See, he's so happy because he gets to go somewhere all by himself with his mama. I know when you have a big family, everybody has to get in the car and go together or walk together. But Mama's going to give him a special treat and he'll get to go somewhere with Mama all by himself, while the little bears are going to stay home and play with Papa Bear. "We will go find God. I will see how he gave us Christmas." "Yes, little Cub, you shall see how God gave us Christmas." See, they're still getting ready. Here's the little ones getting the stockings ready, and here's little Cub and Mama, and they're decorating. They're having a good conversation. They're talking with each other. The next morning, little Cub and Mama filled their packs, kissed their family goodbye, and set off to find God and see how he gave them Christmas. They walked to the top of one mountain. Look how they're going up to the mountain. There's some other bears there that are sledding. But here's Mama and little Cub, and they're going to walk all the way up to the top of that mountain. And we'll see where they go after they walk up there. And down the next. Look how they got down the next. They slid all the way down that mountain. And up another mountain where they set up camp. Little Cub was so tired that she went right to sleep. But Mama nudged her while it was still dark. "Mama, why'd you wake me up?" "Because it's God, little Cub. Come see." Look here, we have some other animals that we're sledding. And here's Mama waking little bear up. Oh, let's look at the lights first, and then Mrs. Deitz is going to read it to you. "What is that?" little Cub asked in wonder as she watched the dancing lights in the sky. "That is God at work, little Cub. He sent his only son as a baby so that we would know light from dark. Jesus is the light of the world. Jesus is how God gave us Christmas." You see all the beautiful lights and the beautiful world that God gave us? So when we look at that world, we can see God. The next day, they arrived at a huge lake. All at once, with a mighty roar, a chunk of ice fell away from the cliff and fell into the sea. "What is that?" little cub asked, covering her ears and leaning onto Mama. "That is God, little cub. He's so powerful, he can command the water to freeze and the glacier to melt. He is mightier than any king on earth. And because he is all-powerful, he made Jesus king of all kings." See the big glacier? A glacier is a big thing of ice, and a piece of ice dropped off into the water. Here's some more over here, and the animals in the cold water. And all of those show us what God can do and how mighty our God is. But Jesus was just a baby. How could he be a king? All kings began as babies. God knew we would need someone we could touch and see and smell. Mama turned to sniff little Cub's neck, making her giggle to understand just how much he loved each one of us. You know when Mama or Daddy kind of kiss your neck and you giggle? Well, that's what God wanted us to know, was that he loved us. Mom and Daddy do that because they love you. And God wanted us to know how much he loved us. So he sent his son. Mama awoke little Cub again before the day's sun came up. She pointed to the east and a star that had changed from green to red to green again and shot out in many points. "Is it God again?" little Cub asked, rubbing her eyes. "Yes, Jesus is called the bright morning star. He is always with us, and he first came when God gave us Christmas." See the beautiful star? And Mama's showing the bear, the little Cub, the beautiful star. And that's what came at Christmas, was Jesus. On the way home, Mama Bear stopped by a tiny flower peeking up from the hard frozen ground. "Oh, you were too early, little flower," she said. "Little Cub, Jesus is like this flower. God in our world, living where you wouldn't expect him, always surprising us. Christmas is a lot about surprises." Like presents? Yes, and Jesus is the best present of all. And God would have given us that present, even if it was only for you. Only for me, only for you, little Cub. God gave you Christmas. See the little flower? And they're looking at the beautiful little flower that's growing in the snow. Mama and little Cub came upon a church glowing with a warm light. Soft voices reached out to them singing. "What are they singing, Mama?" "About the night God first gave us Christmas, when Jesus was born. Tomorrow is Christmas Day." See the little church that they found? And the people see the lights. The people are inside singing. And they even have a little manger scene outside with the baby Jesus and Mary and Joseph. Would Jesus have come for mean old Maggie the moose or grumpy old Frankie the fox? Little Cub whispered. Maggie, Frankie, any of us. Jesus is a present for everyone, grumpy or happy, mean or kind. God gave us all Christmas. See the manger scene again, where they're praying, and here's the baby Jesus. Little cub is looking in at the baby Jesus. And then we see them walking on home. Little cub was glad to be back at home that night in her cozy bed. Thanks for showing me God, Mama. There isn't anything I'd rather do, sweet child, she said with a kiss. Night, night. Little cub went to sleep and dreamed of bright stars and northern lights, of a king as a tiny baby, angels singing over him. See Mama and Daddy tucking baby cub in bed. And woke up to Christmas. Yahoo, she cried. God gave us Christmas again. I want you to think, boys and girls, every time you go outside this week, I want you to look for something special. The trees, the leaves that God has given us. And remember, God gave us beauty that we could enjoy this world. He also gave us love so that we could love each other. But he wanted us to know how very, very much he loved us. So at Christmas, he sent his son. And that's why we celebrate at Christmas. And it was the best gift of all. Have a good week, boys and girls. And Mrs. Deitz will see you again next week.